Today, I want to talk about modern dating and some of the new issues that are coming with it that people in the past just did not have to deal with. And I'm not saying dating was ever easy by any means, but I think it's changed quite a lot, especially over the last few years. The first thing that comes to mind is just how gamified it's become. With online dating apps like Tinder, Hinge, and all that stuff, it doesn't even really feel like dating anymore. It feels much more like a game. And honestly, the best way I can describe it, it's kind of like slots. Like if you've ever played Counter Strike, pulling cases and opening a bunch of cases, it's kind of like that, just a slot machine essentially. You're just swiping over and over again, hoping something hits. And every once in a while, you do get a match and it gives you that little dopamine boost, and then you're stuck right back to swiping again. The best way I've heard to explain it is for girls on a dating app, it's like trying to find clean water in a swamp. For guys, it's like trying to find water in a desert. Girls have a ton of options, which sounds great on paper, but I can imagine that comes with some serious drawbacks. Meanwhile, guys are just swiping on pretty much everything, hoping something sticks eventually. And I can only really speak from a guy's perspective here, but even when you do get a match, it feels like you have to carry pretty much everything. Like you have to be funny, interesting, creative, basically be a full-time entertainer just to keep someone's attention. And essentially it feels like being a jester in medieval times is the best way to put it, I think. I remember this one match I had on Tinder that still sticks with me from years ago. Her name was Kat, and I opened with something like, "I'm allergic to cats, but I'd make an exception for you." Which, yeah, it's kind of corny, I'll admit that, but it did actually work. She responded, and all she said was something along the lines of, "That sounds perfect." And I just sat there like, what am I supposed to do with that? Like, I'm not the best at flirting by any means to begin with, but how do you even respond to that? I was basically stun locked at that point. But that's kind of my point. It feels like guys have to put in all this effort just to stand out because you're competing with so many other guys at the same time. While on the other side, it doesn't feel like the same level of effort is required for girls. And I think a lot of this ties back to social media just becoming more and more a part of our everyday life. People are getting constant validation now, likes, comments, attention, views. It's always there. And I think over time that can kind of mess with your expectations. You start to feel like there's always something better out there, like you can always do better. So you don't really invest too much in what's right in front of you. The whole grass is always greener mindset, I think, really applies here. And I don't think it could ever be more true than it is now. And then on top of that, if you really think about it, these dating apps aren't actually designed for you to find someone long term, because if you did, you'd stop using them. Their whole business model is based on keeping you on the app, getting you to pay for subscriptions, extra features, seeing more matches, all that stuff. I mean, I've never paid for it. I've never paid for any of it, so I don't really know fully what you get out of it, but that's just my guess. The point is they're trying to incentivize you to stay swiping on the app, not to get off the app and actually go on dates. So it kind of creates this loop where people are just stuck in it, doing the same thing over and over again. Because of that, I honestly think the best way to meet people now is still in person. And the funny thing is, the competition there is probably lower than it's ever been because most people just don't do it anymore. People would rather stick to their phones and online dating just because it feels safer and they don't have to deal with that rejection in person. But even that's gotten a bit weird too. I feel like people are more hesitant to approach in person because there's always that fear of being recorded or ending up online and getting clowned for it. And to be fair, you do see some videos of that every once in a while. There's one that actually I remember that makes me laugh a bit. It's this girl walking up the stairs thinking a guy is following her, and the dude just goes, "Yeah, no shit, I'm following you. We're going up the stairs."
I seriously think this guy is following me.
Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. I'm following you. Of course I'm following you. You know why? We're on the stairs.
Stuff like that just makes the whole thing feel more awkward than it needs to be. But realistically, that kind of thing is pretty rare, especially if you're just being a normal and respectful person and can actually read the situation. Most people aren't out here trying to embarrass you for having a normal interaction, as long as you're not weird about it. I also think another big reason people are kind of steering away from dating now is just how draining life can be in general. Not even just money, but time and energy. Like when I was working my 9 to 5, I'd come home and have maybe a couple hours to myself before I had to go to sleep and do it all over again. And in that time, the last thing I wanted to do was go out and try to build a relationship. I just wanted to chill, relax, play some video games, and try and recharge before the next day. And I know that's kind of a me problem, but I also don't think I'm the only one who feels that way. A lot of people are just tired. So the idea of putting time and energy into dating can feel like a lot, even if it's something you really want. So yeah, modern dating is kind of cooked in a lot of ways. But at the same time, I don't think it's impossible or anything like that. If you actually want to find someone, I do think putting yourself out there in real life situations is still your best option. Just because so few people are willing to do it now, it automatically sets you apart from your competition. It might feel uncomfortable at first, but honestly, that's kind of the point. That's how you grow, and that's how you end up having real interactions instead of just swiping all day. So, yeah, that's just my thoughts on it. I'm curious to know what you guys think because I know everyone's experience is a little different with this. Appreciate you guys watching. Hope you're all having a great day. Love y'all. Peace.